BBC News political editor Laura Kuenssberg pointed out the UK was scheduled to leave the bloc by the end of October but delivered a warning to Brexiteers. BBC News political editor Laura Kuenssberg reiterated the UK, as the law stands, will be leaving the European Union by the end of October. But, as the Labour Party attempt to pass a motion to try to stop a future Prime Minister pulling the UK out of the EU without a deal, Kuenssberg warned MPs will stand in the way of a no-deal Brexit. Speaking on Radio 4's Today programme, the BBC's political editor claimed some MPs within Parliament would move heaven and earth to block a no-deal. She said, "Whoever wins this contest ultimately is unpredictable. If it is their policy to leave without a deal, Parliament, and many people in Parliament will move heaven and earth to try to stop that happening. That is the reality of what whoever moves into number 10 will face, irrespective of whether this particular motion will pass today. Reminder though, as the law stands, we are leaving on Halloween, whatever happens under a new Prime Minister and whatever happens with the European Union. But, today's effort by MPs is certainly a reminder that Parliament will try to stand in the way of that, whoever is in charge." Commenting on whether Labour's motion would pass, Kuenssberg said, "There's a decent chance. Absolutely not a slam dunk though. The last time MPs tried to do this it only succeeded by one vote. At that stage, there was a big enough group of Conservatives who voted against Theresa May's governments to back the other parties in trying to do this. In the climate of a leadership contest for the Conservative Party where so much is up in the air for the Conservatives, it is not certain this will pass. It comes after the Labour Party tabled a cross-party motion to try to halt a future Prime Minister pushing through a no-deal Brexit against the wishes of Parliament. Labour claim if the motion passes, MPs will be able to introduce legislation to avoid a no-deal scenario at the end of October. Shadow Brexit Minister Jenny Chapman said Wednesday's vote was a safety valve aimed at Tory leadership candidates. She told Radio 4's Today programme, the motion allowed a mechanism which meant Parliament would not be locked out of the process. Ms Chapman said, they would have to come back to Parliament and get the consent of MPs. Shadow Brexit Secretary Sir Keir Starmer wrote on Twitter, "We can't be bystanders while the next Prime Minister forces through a no-deal without the consent of the British people." It comes after Conservative Party leadership candidates have outlined whether they would be willing to pull the UK out of the European Union without a deal at the end of October. Former Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson, who is favourite to take over as Conservative Party leader, has reiterated the UK must be prepared to leave the EU by the end of October. As he launches his campaign today, Mr. Johnson will say, "Now is the time to unite this country and unite this society, and we cannot begin that task until we have delivered on the primary request of the people, the one big thing they have asked us to do. After 3 years and 2 missed deadlines, we must leave the EU on the 31st of October. We simply will not get a result if we give the slightest hint that we want to go on kicking the can down the road with yet more delay. Delay means defeat. Delay means Corbyn. Kick the can and we kick the bucket. With every week and month that goes by in which we fail to deliver on our promise, I am afraid we will further alienate not just our natural supporters but anyone who believes that politicians should deliver on their promises."